Good evening. We all love the media. It is as important a part of American culture as is anything else. We all have our favorite shows. Many of us like to sit and watch the football game on those cold Sunday afternoons. We can watch a weekly sitcom or try to guess the phrase on the game show. Some of us even like to wake up to a hot cup of coffee and a newspaper or have our dinner while watching the local evening news. People are now going to the electronics stores to get bigger TVs with higher resolutions so that we can even get a clearer picture with selections of hundreds of channels depending on what service you subscribe to. They buy louder and better sounding stereos. There is a constant and never-ending supply of entertainment and information available at the push of a button. The great show put out by the media as a whole comes in various forms such as print, audio and video. New versions are released daily, giving us a never-ending supply and making it impossible for us to see it all. Most of us are happy with this arrangement, because they can now watch one thing and record another at the same time on their TiVo so that they don't miss anything they would want to see. So what is it about the media that we should be concerned with? Of course, when you break it all down, you realize that there are different parts of the media that do different things. First, there is the entertainment industry. Hollywood keeps us entertained. The news media keeps us informed about what they think we should know. Most of this, however, is marketed towards the mass audience, and that way we all end up with a shared understanding of the world. There is also the elite media, which is marketed towards the upper class, for example the Wall Street Journal, Business Weekly, etc. This is the stuff that the average person wouldn't concern themselves with. The elite media does share information with the smaller local papers, so quite often they will run some version of the same story. But since the elite media is marketed towards and provides information important to the upper class, who generally have a hand in the decision-making processes of the world, the versions are often slightly different from paper to paper. The local papers are notified of some story that the big boys are going to run, and run some version of the same story. This way we all know what we are supposed to be concerned with from day to day. The mass media, however, is more concerned with entertainment, and devotes less and less time with the important stuff. Something entertaining is more likely to capture the attention, I guess, of the average person. For example, CNN headline news used to run nothing but that, headline news. Now they have different shows analyzing some stories such as Nancy Grace followed by entertainment news, etc. So the mass media basically wants you to care about that which is relatively unimportant. The world's problems and issues are for the smart guys to concern themselves with, not the average person. They would rather have you concerned with the sports scores or the Clinton sex scandal. The sad thing about the media is that they are corporate-owned entities. Although there are a few smaller ones here and there, most are run by a very few extremely powerful corporations. NBC, for example, is owned and operated by General Electric. ABC is owned and operated by the Walt Disney Corporation. Therefore, the information that is given to most of us is controlled by and filtered through the top of the corporate world. So the real job of the media is to keep the attention of the masses diverted, providing favorable conditions for profit gaining. These larger corporations also closely interact with other powerful institutions such as the government, for example lobbying for their own interests, providing soft monies to congressmen to buy votes. And let's not forget the educational system, which has to keep up with the needs of the businesses in order to prepare a child for the workforce. The media also goes to a university every time they need an expert opinion. That way they can tell the preferred version of a story. It takes a special kind of person to run or be in the great show. Those who don't conform to this type of approved control of the information are booted right out. Very few controversial characters are taken seriously, and of those who are, they say nothing detrimental. It's more that they were sexually explicit or something. The rest are simply put down by the mainstream as crazy, such as the 9/11 conspiracy theorists. Those who don't follow the rules are simply cut off, therefore most of the talking heads you see on the television have conformed to this way of thinking. The press is owned by the rich who only want certain things reaching the ears of the public. That's why most of the news is highly supportive of the power structure. It's a you scratch my back I'll scratch yours world. So what is this all about? Is that what those in control of the media are really up to? You must admit that the media is a business that sells a product. That product is you, or rather an audience. They don't actually make any money by showing you the news or entertaining you. In fact, there are costs associated with that sort of thing. And these costs can be quite high considering what it takes to get the word out to the mass audience. Instead, you and your attention span are the product that is sold to advertisers. In order to make your attention a sellable item, they must find ways to capture your attention. That is done by entertaining you. That way your attention is focused on the television when the commercials come on. Therefore the great show is nothing more than a giant marketing campaign selling you and everybody else as a product to other marketers. Thank you for your attention. Have a good night.